morning's here.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to the Disney Morning Show. I am Kyle, the editorial director for Laughing Place, and joining me today is our head animation person, Tony.
At what point do I hide in a vent and take notes and get my permanent spot on this show?
Yeah, was it a vent or was it like a broom closet?
It might have been a broom closet. I can't remember exactly how it was.
I think in the late shift, he's like hiding in a closet or something.
Okay.
Anyway,
Either way.
that's it. Did anyone understand that joke besides us? Go check out the late shift with Uncle Dan. It's great. Let's say some hellos first, Tony.
Hi, yeah. Good morning to Genie Plus. Good to see you too.
Thank you.
Gio has a question. Does Dopey have a new thumbnail? I don't know.
Did he tear off his old one?
Yeah, right. Slam it in a door frame, maybe. And then Fred says, "Good morning. We missed you yesterday." I keep thinking yesterday was Sunday because I was off.
Yesterday was Monday. We just didn't do it due to staffing. Doobie should be back tomorrow. We'll see. But for now, let's get started with this show the way we always do. When we last did the show, I guess that was with you and me on Friday, right?
Sounds right.
The stock was at 113.90. Let's take a look at where it is now. I need to move this over more, and so I can get to this. There we go. And I need to add that. There you go. 119.26. Wow. Right. That went up about 10 cents in the time that I took to refresh. So very impressive. If you would have purchased on Friday, and then I know Doobie always
$6.
Do that. It is. All right, let's get back as we count down to the death of Ethan. Here's his report. Here he is. Oh, wait, where'd he go?
Why is Ethan dying? I don't know this.
So his programming is being upgraded, and so they are discontinuing his voice module on June 30th.
Okay.
And I was going to audition some new voices for him, but apparently those are paid upgrades. So I don't know what's going to happen to Ethan, but we are going to figure it out together. But in the meantime, enjoy him while we have him.
Hello there, and welcome to another edition of the LP Disney Weather Report. You say I only hear what I want to. You say I talk so all the time, so. And I thought what I felt was simple. And I thought that I don't belong. And now that I am leaving, now I know that I did something wrong. 'Cause I missed you. Yeah, I missed you. And you say I only hear what I want to. I don't listen hard. Don't pay attention to the distance that you're running. To anyone, anywhere. I don't understand if you really care. I'm only hearing negative. No. Let's get to the weather. Anaheim is sunny again today and will reach 79 degrees. Walt Disney World will have absolutely terrible weather today, starting with the fact that the 90-degree high will feel like 99. On top of that, though, isolated thunderstorms will be possible around lunch, with more widespread storms arriving around dinner. Yuck. Castaway Cay will hit 84 today, but windy conditions will make it feel ever so slightly cooler. Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point will feel like 94 today with partly cloudy skies. Disneyland Paris is 77 and sunny now, cooling into the mid-60s later tonight. Tokyo will be rainy for a good part of the day tomorrow, but should be dry by the evening. Temperature-wise, they'll see a heat index high of 80. Shanghai will also get a rainy start to the day, but will just be cloudy by the time the park opens. Meanwhile, they'll warm to a high of 75. Lastly, Hong Kong will see showers and light rain throughout the day, yet the 86 degrees will feel 10 degrees warmer. And that will do it for another Disney weather update. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.
I really wanted him to sing the entire song, but I held back.
It would help if Ethan would stay past the 30th, I guess.
That was also part of the logic.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, Tony, we're going to get started with some exciting news from our favorites, McDonald's.
Is it our favorites?
I mean, it's where I go every time there's a road trip. They have a really good app. So I feel like a sucker if I go pay full price at the thing. I always pull out the app and get like $1 large fry on a road trip. And Beck and I end up eating for like $10 between the two of us. It's fantastic.
Nice.
Anyway,
one of those things
and she sometimes gets a Happy Meal.
Yeah, I was gonna say one of those things you can get on the app is the Happy Meal, which apparently, as of today, will feature new toys from the Pixar Animation Studios' upcoming film Elio. You might have to refresh me on the names here, Kyle, but there's definitely
Oh, okay,
Elio
let me-
and Glorden on there.
Let's
On
see
the
here.
on the
We
far
got
left.
Elio, Helix,
Helix,
Questra,
Questa, which is the leader of Gorm. I know that one.
Mira or Myra, Glorden,
Yep.
Gearden, a Cree. Also, what are the odds that McDonald spelled all these correctly, and then in turn we spelled these correctly?
Also true, because we
And hell yeah,
neither of us have seen the movie, so we had to figure out some of these names on our own here. But yeah,
we have a commercial that we can watch. Well, I think we
does
have
the
to watch a
commercial show
for
that there's a very strange. I'm curious to see how these toys function, because the website showed videos on how to use them, and they come with like a little, almost like prongs, and you pinch the saucer in between them, and it shoots the saucer out, like using friction.
Let me actually pull up the Happy Meal site then. Let's take a look at this together, because
Okay.
that sounds worthy of such things. So let me click on Elio. Wow, thrilling.
Right. So if this is what you're into, go for it. I remember in my day when there was a lot of variance between the toys, and it's just almost just like a character statue that slides with enough force.
Tony, are the clamshell figures from McDonald's the best Happy Meal toy of all time, or is it the Transformers of like the little burger and nugget?
I was gonna say the first thing I always think of is the transforming food. Yes, with the one of them was, I think, a McNuggets box that turned into a pterodactyl or something. But yeah, 100%. I also think of the Tiny Toon flip cars, where like one side was Montana Max and the other side was Buster Bunny or something like that. But yeah. So, and then the other thing we kind of talked about, and I mentioned this in the post too, is I'm used to maybe it's Elio, just a one-off with Elio, but I'm used to these campaigns starting 6 weeks out and then remaining 6 weeks after the movie comes out. So you have a large window in time to which to get these, but this came out 10 days before the movie does. So I think that's kind of interesting. But
well, especially when we've had some of those with it wasn't Thunderbolts, but Captain America Brave New World. They had the Happy Meal toys like way long ago because of all the delays, things were getting messed up. So that one also, I don't remember if it had spoilers or if it actually had like anti-spoilers. Like you thought that it was something about the movie. Oh yeah, one of the characters that has a Happy Meal toy got cut from the film.
Oh, there you go. I know Funko has notoriously revealed some spoilers in their past, and Agatha All Along was one of the few shows from Marvel that I've gotten into, and I knew the ending of it because of a Funko toy. So
that's funny.
Or a twist at the ending of it because of a Funko toy. Nikki B points out that those new toys are very high tech.
She's got a moose on her shoulder.
And Fred, to our point, says, finally. So,
yeah, I was excited. So I have Inside LP. I have a reminder that Slackbot sends me every Tuesday to check Happy Meal, and it usually ends in disappointment, but today it paid off.
Hooray. I didn't realize Tuesday was a Happy Meal day.
Yeah, I don't know why. I caught onto that trend a while ago.
Despite the fact that I've gone out 3 times, I think, hunting them for our site. But yes.
Just me looking at stupid squashmallows for however long and squishmallows, I know. Anyway, we got some news about Hulu. It's finally coming under full Disney control. If you didn't know, Comcast still owned the last piece of it. They gave Disney operating control while they worked out a deal to actually sell it. And then Disney paid them a lot of money, and they were still arguing over the last little bit. So it went to arbitration. And the good news for Disney, and this is going to sound weird when I tell you, the good news is that for that last piece, they had to pay $438 million. But that's good because Comcast wanted like another $5 billion.
Oh gosh.
So I guess Hulu is not as valuable as Comcast wanted it to be. And yeah, so that they're paying that, and this will officially close on or before July 24th. It's all just paperwork at this point, but yeah. So finally, Hulu officially under Disney ownership, as it basically has been and this sorry, I clicked another article and it was playing music again. I'm like, what the heck? Speaking of what the heck?
What the heck? Yeah, what the heck
annual
happened
pass
at
holder.
Epcot?
Jeez, way to let everybody down.
They had all of our website thinking about it. They had many other fan sites thinking about it.
And they have to know this. This was
have to.
The one day at Disney D23 announcement for anytime they tease something and make you and are super vague about it, it's going to be disappointing.
Yeah. And then this was I forgot all about One Day at Disney, to be completely honest. But yeah, I distinctly remember we had been talking about how all the clues pointed that we were going to see Duffy at the Epcot Pavilion or Epcot Germany Pavilion for annual pass holders, but nope, out comes Dopey.
All of his friends are famous, Tony. Like you know how often you think about Sneezy.
That I mean, yeah, that's true. And how many? One of the biggest trivia questions is name all 7 of them. So how famous are they? But yeah.
But do you recall the most famous dwarf of all?
Dwarf of all, Dopey, I guess. I would say Grumpy myself. Gio says Duffy would make more sense in Japan, but Dopey by himself is silly. Load him up with all of them. But also Dopey in their teddy bar or whatever the teddy bear store is. I think personally, from my experience, I would say something happened here. And this is kind of like a fail-safe plan, but either way.
I mean, it does make sense in the German pavilion, right?
It does, but he also has been greeting there anyway with Snow White outside sometimes. So I don't know. Either way.
Yeah, you think they just reverse engineered it? They're like, we can't do Duffy. Who else has famous friends?
Maybe. But then you could even put Mickey in there and it would have counted. But if you want to see Dopey and you have a Walt Disney World annual pass, go ahead and head to the Germany Pavilion from 10 a.m. To 6 p.m. from June 9th to July 31st.
The lines might not be as long as they originally thought.
Yes.
But Test Track is getting closer to opening. We don't know when it's going to open.
Long lines. We'll talk about that in a second. But those planter boxes are there because the walls have come down. And in typical situations like this, as history has proven, once that happens, that usually means we're short ways away from any kind of cast member previews, annual pass holder previews, anything like that. But we also saw a new sign that says it's the Test Track Gear Shop, no longer called the Simporium. So I think the idea that you're doing a virtual test in a virtual car. It
was called the Simporium?
Yeah.
Good to know.
Because it was the Sim Track, because it was a digital track.
I know.
That you went down.
Simporium, yeah. I could see why they changed it.
Yep. But yeah, so now we have the Test Track Gear Shop. And last update that we did, the marquee signage was still under wraps, but now that has been removed and is fully on display if you go back a few photos, Kyle.
Yeah.
But there it is. All its glory. Hey, Kyle, what else is happening next month in terms of Disney World debuts?
Well, it's funny you should ask, Tony, because I believe that Magic Kingdom is debuting a new nighttime parade on July 20th.
On July 20th, right? So yeah. I think Wall's coming down and maybe preview starting. None of the things is official, but I feel like we might be also looking at a dual debut with the new
counter-programming, as I like to call it.
But that's my hunch, but we'll see in the coming weeks.
Are you surprised that they did not work in, well, maybe they will into the ride itself, shifting gears? Do you think a Tim Allen should have worked its way into this new attraction?
It's my understanding that that's the noise that's going to happen when you go out of the tunnel.
We're just going to occasionally hear it in the queue, like the old 1.0, which was just the most annoying queue. I'll take the same repetitive music for 2.0. The 1.0 one drove me crazy.
Well, that one and the loud bangs of like something metal going into a crash test dummy.
Exactly.
If you're jumpy, that was not the place for you. Fred
and I'm
Tim Allen grunt.
Well, things that have been in the works for a while. I don't know if we were talking about something that's been in the works a while. Test Track 3.0 has actually been pretty quick. Yep. But we got another trailer for Ironheart, which has presumably been done for quite some time. And it's coming. It's almost here. I'm going to show this on
jumpy.
mute.
Speaking of jumpy,
sorry. It's only a few weeks away from debuting. June 24th, you're going to get half of the series. 3 episodes of 6. They're really pushing executive producer Ryan Coogler. He directed Black Panther and the second Black Panther, which Riri made her MCU debut in. But I'm looking forward to this, and I'm glad. I feel sad already. Like, I don't think it's going to do very well because it is just kind of being dumped out on there after all these years. But I hope it's good, and I hope it does well.
I don't know if you already said it. How long has it been?
I mean, this was announced when all the other ones were.
Okay.
Like, so it's been years. I don't know how long it's actually been completed for, but it's one of those things, like every panel that they'd be like, oh yeah, that's coming too. I don't know what happened to Armored Wars. That was going to be a TV series and then a movie. And then I don't know if that's just completely gone away too. That was the one, bring back Don Cheadle as War Machine, which could be interesting if you saw whichever movie it was where something was revealed about him. Secret Wars.
Okay.
It wasn't a movie. It was a TV show. Not Secret Wars. My bad.
Gio points out we're going to get the old Tim Allen animatronic back from DCA soon. It's a little wrapped up.
How about a map to your house, Drew Carey?
Yellow suits from the CDA. Fred points out 3 years since Wakanda Forever. He also thinks the show looks good. So
yeah.
Well, speaking of looking good,
there you go.
I beat you to it. I'm sorry. I don't know if the segues are trademarked for you.
No, I like when you jump in on your stories. I was just telling Becca that's something that I don't like about when I do with somebody else. I feel like I need to like prompt them. And I'm like,
got it. So the villains are the stars of the medals for this year's Run Disney Halloween challenges at the Disneyland Resort. There we have Ursula, Maleficent, and Captain Hook. I think there's also a Cruella one. There you go. Therefore, you have all of them from the new Villains Unfairly Ever After show at Hollywood Studios as well. But the one that would get me off my fat butt and running around would be this one, the Pain and Panic challenge. I think the thing's already booked up and sold out and all that fun. So I can't do it, but I would have had I seen that medal ahead of time.
You would have been in
Pain.
Circling him. Pain.
I saw it. Took me a second to see the cursor, but yeah, I'm there. But yeah, Pain and Panic,
which is impressive because I had to know which one is which, because you only ever hear them in tandem. So if I asked you which one did Bobcat voice, you'd have a 50% shot.
But it's also the last Halloween marathon we're going to see at the Disneyland Resort. I think for the foreseeable future. I don't think they announced a return date, but they are going to go on hiatus again, starting on after the Disneyland Marathon in early 2026, because of all the upcoming work being done that may or may not include new parking garages. And actually, it will include that, but I don't know where these pathways go for these marathons, so I don't know if it's going to go out on Manchester Avenue or wherever.
I mean, it usually goes. So the 5K and the 10K are largely in the parks. For the 10K, you do go kind of down by the convention center and then come through and then back. But the half marathon is mostly in the city of Anaheim
and that's the one that like takes you out to Garden Grove and back, right?
So it changes a little bit each time.
Okay.
The ones I like is when they actually take you through Angel Stadium. So you run down Angel Stadium, you get to actually go along the you don't get to go on the baseline, but you get to walk around, run around it, and then out. I knew they put you on the Jumbotron.
Nice.
But Shanghai turning 9 years old on June 16th. I was there 9 years ago. And so to celebrate this milestone, not me going there, but them turning 9, they are going to be offering a few different things. So Tinkerbell will be making her Shanghai Disney debut, which is kind of mind-blowing to me.
That is a little surprising, yeah.
She will be there for the ceremony and then greeting guests in Fantasyland for a limited time. But Tony, there's going to be more Pixar stuff. I've already seen a lot of Pixar things, but there's going to be Pixar Adventurous Journey, basically an exhibit that you can walk through with different scenes from some recent Pixar favorites. These are characters that are you can meet now. Bing Bong debuted over there after only being at the Pixar Place Hotel.
That reminds me of when you see like the Museum of Ice Cream or the Museum of Coffee, and it's just like a walkthrough of different Instagrammable photo ops. That's what this screams, is like the Pixar Museum. It's just photo spots. That one I love though, and I really hope that that's for once I'm saying this in a sentence. I really hope that's a projection
Mm.
with the Jerry's and Terry moving along that wall there. I think that would look really cool. But
Yeah. So anyway, that's going to be at debuts on the 27th, and the birthday is on the June 16th. Years. Yeah, 9 years. I went to Shanghai, and we did Hong Kong for the first time that trip.
was Mystic Manor open at that point?
Yes.
Nice.
So before we move on, we are going to check out the Disney Plus top 10, since we usually do it on Mondays and Fridays, and we were not here yesterday. So let's take a look. Lilo and Stitch, number 1, makes sense. Brave New World, number 2, Predator, Killer of Killers, the animated film that debuted, which, if I may, what?
I'm just looking at the screen. Sorry. I didn't know it was animated.
It is.
I'll have to look
And
that up.
so because of that, I thought that people would write it off. And so when Benji on our podcast said, is it going to be rotten or fresh? I said rotten. 98% certified fresh. Could not be more wrong if I tried. That's like me saying they're not going to build a park again, and then they announced.
I was like, are you
Abu Dhabi
0 for
always did.
7 at this point? So
Yeah, just the worst. Anyway, Alvin and the Chipmunks. Speaking of the worst, Ocean with David Attenborough.
and there's that park they weren't going to build.
Yeah, there's the part. I didn't know that this was a thing.
Yeah.
Is this just the? This is just the. Oh, this is like the little video with it's gonna block it out.
Maybe, probably.
There's
Oh,
really no
well,
secret
no, it's-
about it.
Yeah, so this is just the little thing that they put out there when they first announced it. That's weird. That's a weird thing to be in the top 10. Anyway, sorry. I got sidelined.
your rewards are waiting.
They are. All those rewards. Hamilton,
The
they just
Squeakquel.
reunited at the I skipped the Squeakquel. Hamilton, the cast was just reunited at the Tonys, right, Tony?
Yep.
Tony's.
Yeah.
Grown up.
I mean, it's not something I would have put in my ceremony, but I'll take it.
And Leroy and Stitch. Well, yeah, we're gonna find out what would Tony do if he had his own
If it was
award.
the Tonys.
Fantastic. Let's move on.
And I've had my share of bad reviews. I still remember my first good one, though. Everything else in this production of Our Town was simply terrible. Joey Tribbiani was abysmal.
Well, right now, our own Alex Reif is over in France at the Annecy Film Festival to see animated films, but he took the time to review a live action one. This is
Based
how
on
I
an animated
and a
one.
non-Disney one at that.
Yeah, that threw me when I saw that we did a review for it. I was, what? But yeah.
Yeah. Movie review. Universal's How to Train Your Dragon flies high in a faithful live action adaptation. And his subhead, it says a soaring return to Burke that stays true to its animated roots, but it really should have said, if I had a nickel for every time a Chris Sanders movie was remade into a live action in 2025, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Yep.
It would have been a long subhead. Anyway, his final paragraph, with breathtaking effects, emotional sincerity, and a reverent eye for detail, How to Train Your Dragon succeeds as a visual and emotional update to a modern classic. It may not be daring, but it's undeniably satisfying and marks a promising first step for Universal's future in live action reimaginings. I give the live action How I Train Your Dragon 4 out of 5 updates to the Dragon Book.
Okay.
So there you go.
And the rest.
Any comments before we move on, Tony?
We're on Alvin still. I'm not going to scream that. I don't have the
Alvin?
the Dave voice there.
Alvin?
Yeah.
Alvin!
There you go.
I just did my dog bark with that.
I heard it. I heard.
I'm sorry,
I hear it for
Ricky.
sure.
I'm sorry, honey. She like never barks, except for yesterday. There was a cat on the deck, and she freaked out. I think there's other noises happening outside.
And
She's
Gio wants to know: are there any live action Minions next? Steve Carell's pretty busy, but we'll see.
I'm trying to get my dog to come here now because she's still
Oh, sorry.
whimpering. I don't know. I don't know if it was me or something outside and bad timing.
I think Fred's referring to How to Train Your Dragon. This doesn't look good. I don't need a shot-for-shot remake of a movie that already exists.
Come
It
here,
didn't
man.
work with Vince Vaughn with Psycho. It didn't work now. And then Fred also says, no, not live-action Minions. But I think Kyle's getting ready to lead us into
She's, like,
something going
panting.
on at the Odyssey
Come here.
Pavilion
Nice.
at Epcot with a pianist.
Yes, my doggy.
And there's Rigby.
Yes, but sorry about all of that. But who doesn't love a cute dog on the street?
No, it's true. I was just vamping, so you got her.
from Epcot. Go ahead.
Oh, I don't know. This was your story.
Oh, is it? There's a
Yeah.
pianist at
Yep.
Epcot. No, I guess he's from Rosencrown, but
He's
now
from
he's
Rosencrown.
moved over to the Odyssey Pavilion for a limited time and playing some Epcot classics. And one of several new entertainment things that have popped up at Epcot. We'll have those coming soon. So stay
Yes.
tuned as we explore more. But also at Epcot, Tony.
Also at Epcot, Phineas and Ferb have returned to Walt Disney World. Previously, they were at Disney's Hollywood Studios doing meet and greets. But now they're at the front of Epcot because that makes sense. So you're looking at Spaceship Earth. They're going to be right there on the right where Goofy and Pluto normally were, also because that made sense. But that's where they are. This isn't entirely new. This came out a little bit before, around the same time that they came out at California Adventure. And the first day, I knew they had a big crowd of about 3 hours from my friends who were there, what they were telling me. So they're there meeting and greeting, and it sounds like they're pretty popular, so it'll be there for the foreseeable future. But a little bit of trivia also. With the new episodes coming on, these characters are clearly from the older ones. You know how I can tell?
How?
In the newer
I know,
episodes,
Go ahead.
Phineas has another stripe added to his shirt to imply that he's taller and has grown a little bit more since the last summer. Anyway.
Well, finally, in this segment, Mr. Beast was recently at the Disneyland Resort. And thankfully, there was not a mob that did kill the Beast. But he did a video, I guess,
Armbar with a
premise
baseball
was
bat.
taking his girlfriend or fiance on expensive, like a cheap date and then a really expensive date. So it looks like he got some private time at Disneyland and had a whole thing here. So anyway, you can go find that video on YouTube, or more importantly, or even better rather, go to Laughing Place and watch it from there.
It's also my understanding that his girlfriend was the last remaining person standing after 1,000 people
And I'm the last person
in a game one to be the winner of Mr. Beast's Girlfriend Challenge. I don't know if that's true. I'm just saying that, but
speculative. Well, going around, Tony's laughing because I ran to go check on Rigby while Bumper was playing, and I made it back with plenty of time to spare.
yes, that was very quick.
Bill Gausel, one of our contributors who lives in Canada. We talked about him last week.
Yep, I heard he's one of Doobie's favorite people.
Quickly
Fast
becoming
yeah,
one of
quickly
Doobie's
becoming.
favorite people. Yeah. He does a weekly, well, it's every other week, but he had back-to-back because I messed up and forgot to publish one. The Sarsaparilla Times, where he looks at different parts, some of his favorite parts of Disney parks. And today he looked at the most petrified attractions at Disneyland, the petrified tree that you can find there. Learn the history and the joke behind that over on Laughing Place.
Can I bump in real quick?
Please.
I'm going to call out our good friend Mike Celestino for a second.
Okay.
He has ruined the petrified tree for me because one time, this is at like 3 years ago at this point, probably further. We were doing a walk and talk, a live stream, and we passed by the petrified tree, and Mike goes, "Is this new?" So now I will always think of not what it means with the
In fact, it's
wedding
very
gift
old.
and anything like that, but the fact that it's been there since park opening, I'm pretty sure. And but no, here comes Mike just one day, midsummer. Is this new?
In summer.
It is not, Mike.
I'm not going to scream things anymore.
Yep.
Anyway, over at the Skirball Center, there's a Jack
what?
Kirby exhibit. What?
The what?
Skirball?
What is that?
It's in Los Angeles.
Okay.
The Skirball Center. I might be
Go
saying
on.
it wrong, but it's how it's spelled. Anyway, they have a Jack Kirby exhibit that Jeremiah had to go get, had a chance to go check out, and Eric put together since he
Had to.
knows all about Marvel. Oh, but I should say, Disney legend Jack Kirby, by the way. I apologize. He was inducted along with Stan Lee a few years ago. So yeah, cool exhibit. If you can't make it there yourself, you can go over to Laughing Place and check out all of Jeremiah's photos. He took a lot of photos, so you'll get a full tour. And then finally, our latest edition of Laughing Place on Location is here. And look, it's me. It's the same guy.
Beautiful shot.
That's me in windy Marceline, Missouri a couple weeks ago, as I got to explore the town for the second time that I've been there.
Can I ask, did you color match your thumbnail to the building behind you with your shirt, or was that a coincidence?
It's a coincidence. I wore that hoodie because it was supposed to eventually get kind of warm, but it was cool in the morning. And that particular hoodie also turns into a backpack. I had another backpack, but it was easy to take off.
It's almost the same exact color as the building behind it. That's why I asked.
Pretty cool. Yeah, the building behind it being the Walt Disney Hometown Museum, and that clock you see there was dedicated the last time I was in Marceline 2 years ago for the Disney 100th citizen. Donated that to the city of Marceline.
Gio points out he still needs to make it out there and find the bench he signed. Okay.
I got to sign.
I thought that was called graffiti.
The barn. So they have a replica of Walt's barn on the Walt Disney farm, and they always have people sign it, and then they put it somewhere. Anyway, you could see that in this week's episode, so go check that out as we move on to
the fun stuff.
Well, it's not Foodie Friday, so I'm not going to go too in-depth on this, but I did want to mention as part of fun stuff that they have released the Pride Night special menus for the Disneyland After Dark events, including some new and returning specialty items. But let's get to the favorite here. Once I get there, then I will stop. We're going to keep going. There it is. The Golden Girls Fabulous 40 cheesecake, which will be available during this special event. Yeah, pretty funny.
Is there anything that makes it special aside from the
Fabulous
medallion?
thing?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
It's being served during Pride Night.
Okay.
There's that. So yeah, you can check that out over on Laughing Place. And if you're headed to Pride Night, have fun and try out some of those treats. This might be the only time where you're going to hear Tony talk about Marvel, but there's reason.
It's true. Yeah. So Marvel's new animated series, Eyes of Wakanda, made its kind of debut, I guess you could say, or a preview or whatever, at the Annecy International Animation Film Festival in France. And our own Alex Reif was there. Is it Reif or Rife? I always go back and forth.
I believe it's Rife.
Okay. Alex Rife. And he described Eyes of Wakanda, and he said it's structured as a spy story and described as an anthology-adjacent 4-part series that follows generations of Wakandan warriors charged with recovering vibranium artifacts that have fallen into the wrong hands. I'm sure everybody else on this planet knows what that means. It's a little foreign to me, but I'm there.
It is foreign. It's only what vibranium is specific to Wakanda.
It has previously got my attention, though, with still art that I have seen. It's going to be very 3D, computer animated heavy, but the intro is completely done hand-drawn with charcoal. So that immediately got my attention. And Alex is speaking highly of it in that piece that you can find on our website now. But it's probably definitely something I'll be checking out at some point.
Very nice. And then finally, I did want to mention that if you haven't had a chance to go to Disneyland for the 70th anniversary, but you wanted some of that sweet merchandise, which I actually really like the color scheme. I like this spirit jersey and everything.
Yes.
Several items, not all of the items. So some of the main celebration items have been released. There's going to be more collections coming in the next couple of weeks, but so many merchandise articles that Becca wrote over the weekend and published on Monday morning. Go check them out if you want any of the merch. Please, if you are going to buy anything on Disney Store, please use our links. It doesn't cost you anything, and we get a small commission, which helps support our work here at Laughing Place. So thanks in advance.
Is the Corksicle on there? The 70th Corksicle?
I don't know.
I'll ask Becca.
Yeah.
And then
I
I'll
know the
use our
Harvey
links.
is there, and it was still available as of last night, at least. So I was surprised by that. But anyway, Tony, are you ready for your quiz?
Sure.
Okay. Not gonna lie,
Almost
not
not as
the
quick
most
as Kyle.
exciting. Go ahead.
I could put the cup out of this scene real quick, but I wasn't as fast as you were.
Not the most exciting day.
Okay.
The two of these I just want to read to you because they made me laugh. So on this day in 1980, Disneyland's Grad Night 1980 took place with live entertainment provided by Kool and the Gang, Casey and the Sunshine Band, Terry DeSario, Papa Do Run Run, and Shalimar.
Papa Do Run Run.
Yeah. Also, this is another one I liked. On this day in the year 2000, to mark the return of Indiana Jones Spectacular to Disney MGM Studios after a 6-month hiatus,
It's a different time.
Disney invites 500 Floridians, mostly from the Orlando area, with the last name Jones, to be in the audience for the grand reopening.
I think they did that at something else where it was people from Indiana, like people named Henry Jones from Indiana or something like that. It might have even been when they reopened the ride recently at Disneyland. I don't remember, but it was something
this
similar.
type of marketing now. Give us a poop for president promotion. Come on now. Anyway, on this day in 2003, an animated sequel was released direct to DVD.
2003.
Yeah.
Animated direct to DVD.
Yeah, so it's a cheap sequel.
Yeah. Was it 1.5?
No. Good guess.
I don't like the sequels. I don't know if you
Based on an older movie than 1.5.
It wasn't Bambi 2, was it?
No.
Okay. We can go through all Lady and the Tramp 2, Scamp's Adventure.
Oh.
Patch's Lucky London Thrill Ride, whatever it was called. Okay. You said it was one of the older ones. So Fox and the Hound 2?
No. I think it's old. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to be helped there. I'm just saying it's older than Lion King was. It's an older movie. It's an actual classic.
Because I know Stitch had several sequels pretty much
right
after.
It's way older than Stitch.
Cinderella 2?
No, good guess. I think it's a little older, a little later than that.
Oliver and Company, Radigan's Revenge. That would be Great Mouse Detective, not Oliver and
Company.
Company.
It has Sherman Brothers songs.
Jungle Book 2?
Jungle Book 2.
So
I mean the original Jungle Book. I don't think Jungle Book 2 has Sherman Brothers songs.
I have to do it technically. Cue that crap up.
Okay.
Technically, do it. Cue it up.
Now just a minute.
From the Jungle Book.
Jungle Book 2 went into theaters. Fun fact.
Oh, did it?
It's not Walt Disney Animation Studios, but that was released in theaters.
Okay. Sorry. I thought it was just Return to Neverland.
No, it's Return to Neverland and Jungle Book 2.
All right. My bad.
Yep. Oh, yeah. See, Fred backs me up. Thanks, Fred.
I thought you were going to technically something I didn't say, which is that Bare Necessities is a.
Oh, no. It was because you said it was direct to DVD. And I was like,
I did. I just thought, it's a sequel. It's not going to theaters. So, yeah, my bad. I don't know if the site was right or not. Anyway, finally, on this day in 2014, a animated short debuted at Annecy.
2014?
Yes.
Get a Horse?
No. A short I enjoy quite a bit.
I was going to say Paperman was earlier. It's probably Feast.
It is indeed Feast. Is this the reason? Did this inspire me to get a dog that's partially a Boston Terrier? It may have played a role.
Okay.
I love this. It played in front of Big Hero 6. And so because I got to cover the long lead for Big Hero 6 and some of the other events, I got to see this pretty early and enjoyed it a lot.
Today I learned it debuted at Annecy. I didn't know that. I thought it was just attached to Big Hero 6. So
there you go. So yeah, if you haven't seen Feast, go check that out. It's fun. The director was telling us at the time that he was inspired. He had this thing where it was like one photo a day and he ended up just taking pictures of like his food. And then he's like, hey, this is a story. So anyway, that is the end of this stream. But Tony, big news. It's a 3-show Tuesday. It was supposed to be a 4-show Tuesday, but there's no trivia tonight. So instead, at 11 o'clock, we have a walk and talk with Michael Celestino at the Disneyland Resort. Then followed by 4 o'clock, we're gonna have Barely Necessities, starring yours truly and my wife.
So we're both doing two shows.
We're both
today.
doing two streams today.
'Cause
Yeah,
I'll-
Tony will be with Mike on the
Yep.
Walk and Talk, and I'll be with Becca on Barely Necessities.
Same spot. You just won't see me.
Yeah, and then we'll be back tomorrow with another morning show. I'm just going to do a quick refresh of the things to make sure I'm not missing any big breaking news that we could and should be talking about, but I am not seeing anything. Oh wait, actually, up. Let me hit the button.
I'm just curious. Oh, okay.
Epcot got an intergalactic visitor. See Ilio in theaters June 20th.
So, are they installing Elio into Spaceship Earth everywhere?
Got an intergalactic. So maybe this isn't as breaking. I thought that they were announcing something. I don't know if this is just a fun little video. I thought maybe they're doing like an Ilio meet and
Yeah,
greet.
are they implying there's a meet and greet? But
Yeah, but I don't think that's correct because that would have been on Parks blog or something. And then it says, be sure to check out his intergalactic adventure inside Tomorrowland.
which is
So maybe that's not
Mission of
exciting.
Venus.
Wow. Way to tease again.
And then-
Disney
and-
failing
and-
with their teasers.
And Dopey's in Germany. So
Yeah, and Dopey's in Germany. So there
at
you
the
go.
bear store.
Anyway, everyone, on that sour note, have a great day. We'll see you back here
Bye,
in about
everybody.
48 minutes as Tony walks around Disneyland Resort with Mike. Bye.